like, again, him going to Caleb Pro Day. So I don't know. I think that Keenan should absolutely 100% come back. I think it'd be detrimental if we went DJ, Rome, and then whoever the hell finishes the 3, or whoever's what.
Yeah, 3. I agree with you, Jack. I think it's a no-brainer. No one game like can determine if you need to extend somebody for the most part. But
of course,
he had 9 receptions, 141 yards today, a touchdown. Last week he had 82 yards on 6 receptions for a touchdown. Of course, and then against the Lions, 4 weeks ago, he had 73 yards for 2 touchdowns. He's 553 yards on the year, 53 receptions, 6 touchdowns. I mean, all in all, it's not the most pretty or remarkable year. He has missed 2 games as well. So I think I think fares or actually works well for the Bears in regards to, one, his production isn't what he expects and what we were expecting. However, he has been impactful. Also, when you throw in Shane Waldron, 9 games, we're not great. All over the place as far as usage. Rome Odunze's cutting into that. His target share, of course, DJ Moore as well. I think Keenan is going to be not a bargain, but I think it's going to be very affordable for the Bears. And I think he's going to want to remain in Chicago. And he said that he would like to run it back with us, or he would go back to San Francisco, or I'm sorry, to the Chargers. That was his preference. And I don't think the Chargers are in the best cap space wise. I'm not sure. I think they're 20th or 22nd in the NFL.
Yeah, they can't be because they had to restructure both.
And who knows
Osta
what they cut?
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, who knows how that transpires. I'm sure they got some cap wizards over there, but I think it's going to make sense for the Bears to offer like a 2-year, $30 million. Like, I think that's with some outs and maybe not backload, probably front load it, honestly. Yeah. But they have just that flexibility where they can make this contract look pretty, but also have outs for if Keenan does regress significantly. But I think right now to go and run it back with a DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen type offense, and then also maybe bring in a speedster, kind of like a J-Mo today that we saw in Detroit. I know that would take a lot of money to get, but like a Tyler Scott type role, and Scott hasn't produced like we thought he would, but to get somebody who is like Scott but can produce and take the top off, I think would be electric, especially if you have an offensive line next year that's maybe able to really fortify and secure Caleb Williams outside of getting sacked 60 times. So I think all in all, I hope that's one of not my priority, but it would be at the top of my list, because I think it's an easy one to get done. If you're Ryan Poles or whoever the GM is, I think it's an easy one to get done. You just have to make sure you have to let Keenan know, hey, let's just make this happen. What makes sense for both sides. Let's be realistic here. And I think Keenan's if he can play ball with us, play fair, I think it's gonna get done. So,
well, if Ryan Poles the GM, that's how he likes to work. So we know he doesn't overpay for people.
His number,
so,
yeah.
So if
what is his number?
If Ryan Poles here,
what do you think?
What do you think?
No, what do you think?
What do you think? Jack? I'm thinking 26 to 27. So like 12 to 13 million a year.
So 15 is too high.
Maybe 15 with incentives or something like that. I think you may have said that, but like.
Yeah,
a base of this, but like if you, especially amount of games played, I bet you that's in the contract because you're older, right? That'd be the same with Tevin Jenkins, but basically like snap count, and then also there's gonna be some production as well, I would think. But if you give me like 13 base, and then I can get up to 15 or even 16, like I think he would sign that. I wonder what Spotrac has as his for Keenan Allen in his new contract. But yeah, what would you do, Jack?
Did I lose?
So I was literally just looking at
he is 32. Yeah,
16.2 is what Spotrac has.
16
is calculated market value, which in comparison to a 1-year-old younger Stephon Diggs is 22.
Don't know where I went.
Yeah, so I didn't even see it disappeared. I was looking at Spotrac. But yeah, that's so 16 million. So I might be undercutting here. So if it's at 16 million, Spotrac's normally pretty spot on. Maybe it's like a 15 million deal, like Dave, you were saying, like 2 for 30. Some incentives on the back.
The wide receiver room, and I don't have it here. I've looked at it last year, and I know there's been some contracts signed. Of course, DJ Moore. It's to pay wide receivers are not cheap, so that's why I don't think. I think when you look at some of the caliber of players that are getting paid that 14, 12, or 12 to 15 range, I think that's why you got to probably pay a little bit more. Also, Keenan's going to be. I mean, this is final contract, probably.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe not final, but it's at least his second to last, depending how many years. But if it's a 2-year deal, I think he might get one more after, possibly.
Yes,
but we'll see.
As for 2 years, $32 million, 32.4 is his market value right now
for Keenan.
Yep, so 2 years, 32. So 16.
I would do that, man. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So,
before we do that, I want to do that. Yeah, aren't we all?
It's gonna be so fun. No, it's just gonna be fun. Like, not because like this season's been terrible, but it's like the Bears just have so many resources, a lot of big decisions.
Shout out Ryan
the quarterback's
Poles.
not one of them, which is nice, and I think that's probably why I like it, because there's not going to be that discourse here this year like it was last year with JF and
for sure
and Caleb. But now it's like, okay, no, we know who we're building around. We just need to figure out who the coach is, who the GM is, and then what moves we're going to make in draft and free agency. So
for sure,
it's gonna be fun. But what were you?
That'll be our last final gift from Poles if he's out, is making sure that we had that good cap space and draft picks. So we appreciate that. I want to do the 4K because I think that's important, and then we'll go to voicemails. So Jack, if you mind pulling that up for me, because I think this was a big moment. Actually, Dave, you were texting us like, "Ooh, if he gets 400, he might have a chance for 4,000." He didn't get 400, as you know, he got 334, but 730 yards he needs in the next 2 games. So if this man gets 370 in both, he gets it. Now that would be his highest. I think. No, he had a 393 earlier in the season, or wait, 363. So yes, that would be his highest. So he needs basically 2 career type games to end the season, okay? But it is technically not out of range. And if he even gets like 250 going on for the rest of the year, he's going to be like 3,700. And he only has 5 yet. He has not thrown a turnover again. He had 2 more touchdowns today. So he's on pace for like 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3,700 yards. Tell me that is a success in every category. Right? You didn't break the 4K. That was a big ask anyways. That's some of the high expectations we had, but 3,700? Come on. So I just want to give that before we head out here, because I thought that was important to see, like, yeah, Caleb, like these final 2 games have looked like how the rest of the 9 have, like, decent. His final stat line is going to be crazy.
That 50-yard game or whatever it was, the 90 yards too in there, man, get rid of those and we would have had it.
You get rid of Shane Waldron.
About to say that, man.
You get rid of Shane Waldron. Like, if it's Thomas Brown from the jump, this man has 4K. He has 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are so small it won't show it. But you have I know there was like a 90-yard game week 1 against the Titans.
So week 1 and 10.
Yeah, week 1 and 10, you had less than 100 yards. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it's still possible with these final 2 games. You'd have to go for 400 plus.
No, 370 each. 370 each.
Oh, 370 each. Yeah.
I mean, if you get 400,
it's
you're
possible,
good,
dude.
It is
possible. Because what you could do is have like a 400-yard game, like 411, and then that final game you don't have to get as much.
330.
Yeah, or you can split it 370, whatever it is. But
yeah,
I think it's interesting, man. I think it's Caleb's having a pretty damn good year. His TD touchdown to like interception ratio is nuts too. Yeah. I think it's going to end up. I forgot what his projections are, but I think 25 touchdowns.
The projections from last week were 25 touchdowns and like 6 interceptions.
I don't think he's going to throw a pick. I mean, I really don't. He's one, when he does throw a bad ball, they just can't catch it, which is hilarious.
Yeah, we love that.
I love that. Like, I hope that I hope that sticks.
He zips it. That's the problem. Sometimes our wide receivers don't catch it because of that.
Well, no, it knocked Keenan over in that first, first quarter. Like,
yeah, I remember
he caught it, and I thought he was going to keep going, and I was like, oh, he's losing his balance.
Yeah, I do remember that one. But yeah. It's good. It's going to be a great year by the end of it. And so that's, I think, Dave, just to back that up of like going into the offseason, I think this is, may not be as exciting last year because we had, the whole idea of 2 first-round picks, but like we still got great picks, a lot of capital. We can rebuild this team or retool this.
You have a high second. Quickly. You have 2 seconds, and one of them is a very high, almost a first-rounder.
Well, ours isn't too far back, so
that's true. Yeah, we got 2. And
you got
that you're probably in the 20s.
Exactly. So, yes, it's going to be a good offseason.
Okay.
But let's end it off here with the voicemails. And thank you for sending these in. If you guys didn't get it in, actually, let's do our read. I totally forgot about that, but I'll make it quick. We do have a Patreon. We're building a community there. If you want to join on there, we do have monthly giveaways. We have a bunch of good stuff on there. Hall of Fame tiers, like $10. Our rookie Grizzly tier is $3. Monthly giveaways, access to our Discord, which was active this week. Monthly, I already said monthly giveaways. We just did that. Zoom calls with us three. It's fantastic. Go to the BFR Den on patreon.com. That's the BFR Den on patreon.com. You can also go to the BFRstore.com to buy merch. It's getting cold, so you can get your hoodies, hats, beanies, all that your heart desires. The BFRstore.com. We really do appreciate it. Stay warm for the holidays. And all those proceeds go back into the show to make it better for y'all. So hopefully by next offseason and next season when it starts, the show's as good. Well, the show's already better than the team, but it can align with the team. Hopefully the team's doing well and the show's rocking with it. So we really do appreciate that. Also, if this is your first time here, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. We'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. That is hashtag new face gang. And if you're an OG on the show, which means this is not your first time, please give a hashtag OG, because the show would be nothing without y'all. Because at the end of the day, Dave, Jack, and I are fans, and the BFR podcast is the number one show by the fans for the fans. That's right, the number one show by the fans for the fans, and that is because of people like y'all. We really do appreciate it. So I just want to give a shout out to all of y'all for the support that you have done, and we love the support also from the voicemail line. So if you want to leave a voicemail, you won't be able to get on this show because we'll probably be ending it here soon. But if you ever want to leave a voicemail whenever, during the game, after the game, before the game, during the week, go to speakpipe.com/the BFR podcast. It is free. We play most of them, almost all of them, as long as you're not saying anything that can get you canceled, right, or get us canceled. We will share them. We love hearing your thoughts and opinions on it. So speaking of that, Jack, go ahead. Let's get started with Angie on the voicemail.
Good Lord. I forget that these are only 90 seconds. Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, Caleb Williams is who he is. He has a bunch of weapons. He should have very good stats, considering the fact that he does have really good offensive weapons compared to what Justin Fields had last year and the year before and the year before that. So the Bears are who they are. This is the McCaskey's fault. This is some of Ryan Poles' fault. We all need to call a spade a spade. Quit making excuses for people like Caleb Williams. They get paid a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars. Millions. Think about that, guys. Millions of dollars. No excuses. He's the one that came out being the cocky person that he is. So let's all call a spade a spade.
Oh, I paused it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is an old voicemail. This is from last week. This gotta be. There's no way.
It is from today. It's 57 minutes ago. You're muted, Fick. Or your mic's not working. But yeah, no, that is from today.